and do this. So the first one says that we need to do it using the square root property. So first, we need to isolate the variable. So the first thing that we're going to do is isolate the variable. So we're going to subtract 20 on both sides. What we get is y squared equals to 300. And second, we're going to apply the square root property. So this is going to be y equal to plus and minus a square root of 300. We could divide the square root, split the square root between the square root of what? 100, which we know is 10, times the square root of 3. So we have y is equal to plus and minus the square root of 100 is 10 square root of 3. So there's going to be two answers here. Y is going to be equal to 10 times the square root of 3, and y is going to be equal to negative 10 the square root of 3, right? We're using the square root property. Yes. So we're using the square root property right there. Let's just do the add numbers first. This is number 1. Let's do number 3. On this one, they want us to use the quadratic formula. So we have to solve it the way they're asking us. So here's the quadratic formula. Let me write it down on this side. Negative b plus and minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. This is the quadratic formula. Okay? So let's apply it over here. First it says we need to distribute. So let's do that. That will be 8m squared plus m minus 1. Perfect. So a is equal to 8, b is equal to 1, and c is equal to negative 1. So we're going to apply the square root property, the quadratic formula. Negative b plus and minus b squared minus 4a times c to a. 2a will be just like this. So m is going to be equal to negative 1 plus and minus. This is going to be 1. Negative 4 times 8, that's 32 negative minus this one times this negative 1, it will be positive 32. 2 times 8 is 16. So what do we have? Negative 1 plus and minus square root of 33 divided by 16. Don't forget you're going to have two answers. M is going to be equal to negative 1 plus the square root of 33 divided by 16, and the other one is going to be negative 1 minus 33 divided by 16. And we just apply the square root, the quadratic formula. That's it. Now, let's do 5. 5 says complete the square. Okay. Complete the square. So when we complete the square, remember that we have to have ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0 in that form. The first thing that we're gonna do is isolate the variables. So we're gonna subtract the 4 on both sides, right? So I'm going to get x squared minus 4x equals to negative 53. Now, we're going to complete the square. How do I do that? Take the b, half of b. Half of b would be what? Negative 4 divided by 2 would be negative 2, right? This is going to be negative 2. The square, that's going to be plus 4 and plus 4. So what I get here is x minus 2 squared. Remember, this is going to be plus or minus 1/2 of b. Negative 53 plus 4, that's going to be negative 49. Now we need to solve it. And we need to apply the square root property. Right here. So this is going to be x minus 2 equals to what? Plus and minus the square root of negative 49. And how we're going to write this one? This is going to be a square root of 49 times the square root of negative 1. And don't forget that this is equal to I. So this is going to be x minus 2 plus a minus square root of 49 is 7. So it's going to be 7i. I need to add the 2. So x is going to be equals to 2 plus a minus 7i. This is the form that's the standard form. It needs to be this way. But we're going to have two answers here. X is going to be equal to 2 plus 7i. And x is going to be equal to minus 7i. So we complete this, we isolate the variables, complete the square. We solve it by doing what? Applying the square root property. We have a negative 49, the square root of negative 49, which is equal to 49 times negative the square root of negative 1. That's number 5. 7. 7 says find the axis of symmetry. And vertex for the parabola. So in order to do that, we need to complete the square. That's the first thing that we need to do. So this is going to be, this is equal to 0, and I'm subtracting 10. So it's going to be y is equal to x squared plus 10x equal to negative 10. Now, let's take half of this one, which is 10 over 2. It's going to be 5x squared, and we're going to add it here. So it's going to be plus 25. So we have, I'm going to complete the square. Negative 10 plus 25, that's 15. Now I'm subtracting 15 on both sides because I need to move it back inside. I need to find the axis of symmetry and the vertex. Remember, what I want to get is to this. I need to get it in the vertex form. Okay, so that's why I need to take back the 15. So the axis of symmetry, which is what, x equals to h, we always said that it's going to be opposite. Plus and minus is going to be negative 5. And the vertex, h comma k. So it's going to be, the h is what? The opposite. The k, you just use the same one, the same sign that you have here, negative 15. This one is the only one that you use the opposite. So how do you find the axis of symmetry and the vertex of a parabola? You have to complete the square in order to get there. Here's 9. It says to use the set of ordered pairs to determine whether the relation is a one-to-one function. One-to-one. So 12, 5, negative 21, 18, negative 3, and 11. All right, nothing repeats, right? Negative 15, negative 8, negative 20, negative 20. Right here. So it is a function, but it's not a one-to-one. Why is a function? Because from 12 goes to the negative 15, from 5 to the negative 8, from negative 21 to the negative 20. From every x, there's one arrow pointing to the y-axis. Okay, that's why it's a function. But it's not a one-to-one because from the negative 21 comes to the negative 20, from negative 20 comes to the negative 21 and to the 18. We could see it this way too. Okay, we have 5. Hold on. So then this one is going to be first 21 with negative, negative 3. This is 5, 11, and 12. Yeah, 12 is here, 5, negative 21. Okay, I'm missing 18. Now, from here we have negative 15. There. So let's start. 12 goes to negative 15. So 12 goes to negative 15. 5 goes to negative 8. Negative 21 goes to negative 20. Go ahead, Jordan.
So for the exam for this one, do we have to fully like write it out the way that you're doing it, or can we like when it so in what I'm asking like here is like when you get those questions like that lists it and then it says to figure what exactly it is. You have to like reverse it and then you have to I forget what it is. It's almost like you're flipping it. I forget which one that one is.
That's the
You
inverse.
have to, huh?
The inverse of a function?
Yes, the inverse. When we do inverse for this, do we have to fully write it out like this in this graph, or can we just write it out and then explain how we got that?
Okay, let me get to that question like that, just to see
Okay.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Thank you. Negative 21 to negative 20. 18 to negative 20. And negative 3 to negative 4. And the last one, 11 to negative 2. So I just want to show you here that from every x, there's only one arrow pointing to the y-axis. So that's a function. When this is happening, that's a function. But it's not a one-to-one because from the negative 20, you see two, one going this way and one this way. That's why it's not a function. It's not a one-to-one. That's what I wanted to show you. All right. Number, oh, this is 11. Okay. 11 says determine if the graph is a graph of a function. What do we do? The vertical line test. That's what we do. So we're going to say it is a function. Why? Because it passes the vertical line test. It is a function. Now, it's asking me if it's a one-to-one. Is it a one-to-one? No, right? It touches in two places with it doesn't pass the vertical line test, the horizontal line test. So we're gonna write down not a one to one. Okay? And why is that? It fails the horizontal line test. That's it. Passes this one, but it doesn't pass the horizontal. Now, this one, what they're asking me to find the inverse. It says find the inverse of the function and determine the domain and range of the inverse. Take a look at this. Find the inverse. Okay. Okay. So the inverse is, I just need to interchange the x and the y. That's it, right? Now it's asking me what's the domain? It's the x values, right? Okay, so the domain is going to be 2, 3, 1, and 0. So that will be 0, 1, 2, and 3. Those are the x values. Now it's asking me for the y range. Those are the y values. Okay. 1, 3, 5, and 7. 1, 3, 5, and 7. And we're done here. I think I saw something like this on the test. Okay. Now let's go to the next one. That was 11. No, that was 13. Let's do 15. 15 said, find f of g of x and g of x, g of f of x. Use the result to determine whether or not the given functions are inverses. All right. So we need to, in order for them to be inverses, this needs to happen. To be inverses, they both need to be equal to x. So let's do it. We're going to do first f of g. So that means what? It needs to be equal to x, right? We're going to try to see if it's equal to x. We're going to take what? G and replace it on f. That's what it means. It means that we're taking all of this. We're going to substitute it for the x. So this is going to be equal to 8 times what? 1 over 8x minus 1/2 plus 4. Now if I distribute the 8 times 1 over 8x minus 8 times 1 over 2 plus 4. I'm just distributing the 8. So we have an x here. 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4 plus 4. This make a 0. So it's going to be equal to x. We got that one. Now let's go ahead and do g of f, meaning the f goes into the g. So it's going to be 1/8 times 8x plus 4 minus 1/2. I'm going to distribute the 1/8. So this is x. 4 divided, no, this is going to be 1/2 minus 1/2. This makes a 0. So they are inverses, right? Because they both are equal to x. So let's go and see the answer. They say the functions are not inverses. Okay, that's not my answer. Right away we know this is not my. The answers, the functions are inverses. Okay, and the functions are inverses. So let me read more. Because the equations g of f of x is equal to x and this is equal to x are both true. Are not both true. No, this is true. Be very careful. Read the second part. Okay? Not just because they are inverses, you're just gonna pick this one. Be very careful. It's gotta be this one. Are both true? Now, 17. Mhm. And for this one, guys, remember this. If the bases are, so x is equal to y. So right here, we have 5. What do I need to do? Find a base of 5. So I need to convert this. So this is going to be 5 to the 4th power is equal to 625. The bases are the same, so the exponents are going to be equal. What do I need to do? Just add the 2, and x is going to be equal to what? To 6, right? They are asking us to solve. That's it. Now, let's go to find the value of x. So first, I'm going to go to the exponential form. Right now it's the logarithmic form. Let's go to the exponential form. Where the base is the base here. The answer was the exponent equal to 289. What do I do now? I applied the square root property. it's going to be x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 289. And I believe we get a whole number there. Yep, 17. So it's going to be plus or minus 17, but we're only going to be using x equals to 17. Okay? So it's only going to be the positive one. There's no negative logarithm, so that's why. So that's 19. It's going to be 21. So 21 is asking us, this one too. I went through the whole exam to make sure that we could stop at chapter 10.3. Yeah, so I remember this too. It says convert to the exponential form. So again, if you want to switch it, fine. Log 6, 1 over 1000 equals to -4. So here's the base, which is 6. The exponent is going to be the answer, equals to 1 over. That's it. That's all they're asking you to do. You could just, from here, get to here. You don't have to do what I did here. But it was just to flip it. That's it. That's all they're asking us there. This one says, evaluate using the properties of logarithms. Okay. So let's do this. Equal to x. So it's going to be 3. The exponent is going to be the answer equal to 3 to the 4th power. Same base, x is equal to 4. So log base 3 of 3 to the 4th power is 4. Okay. Now let's do 25. Yep. They want us to simplify the logarithmic expressions. Okay, and we have, let me write it down here, this property. When we're multiplying is the same as adding. X plus log base p of y. Don't forget that. So right here, we could do log base 4 of 8 times 32. So that's going to be log base 4. This is 256. Equals to x. 4 is the base. Exponent is the answer, equals to 256. And that's going to be 4 to the 4th power. Same base, x is equal to 4. So the answer to this logarithmic is 4. Now, 27. It says use the properties of logarithms to expand the logarithm. Simplified if possible. Okay. So the first one is the one that we just used over there, the product rule. Okay. So let me. This one is the product rule. Log base b x y is equal to log base b of x plus log base b of y. And the other one is the power rule, that when we have log base b of x to the r comes down here, log base b of x. This is called the product rule, not product power. Now, let's do this one. Wow, so right here we have multiplication. Let's do the first one. Yeah, it's 6. Then the next one is going to be 4 log base 5 of x plus 3 log base 5 of y. Yeah, that's it. That's what they want us to do there. We apply the product rule and the power rule, both of them. And 27. 29. I don't know. Okay, let's do this one. I don't know. And it says find the value of the logarithm to 4 decimal places. Okay, let's try this one. Log base 5 of 14 is equal to x. So first, we're going to go to the exponential form. So it's going to be 5 to the x power equals to 14, right? Second, we're going to apply to both sides of the equation. So we have ln now we're going to apply the power rule. So it's going to be x remember we need to solve the 4x. So now what do I do? divide by ln on both sides, ln of 5, and this one you can find it in your calculator, and we get 1639738, and the 4 decimals, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer here will be 1.6397. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and do, we did from 1 to 30. So let me go back and do the even numbers. This one. What do I do? The exponential form. That would be the first step. Just the same way that we did the other one. Exponential form. So that's going to be 4 to the x power equal to what? This is equal to x. So this is going to be equal to 15. Now we're going to apply it to both sides of the equation. So it's going to be now what do I need to apply here? The power rule. So it's going to be x is equal to ln 4 ln 15. Now what do I do? Divide by ln. I need to solve it for x. So x is equal to ln of 50 divided by ln of 4. So we solve it here. And when you guys do that in the calculator, you get all these numbers 1, 9, and they want 4 decimals. 1, 2, 3, 4. So x is going to be equal to 1.9534. That's it. Now, let me go back and that's 30. This is 28. They just want us to use the properties to expand logarithm. So let's just do it. This is multiplication. So it's going to be log base 7 of 8 plus the 6 comes down log 6 times log base 7 of c plus the 5 comes down log base 7 of d. That's it. Yeah. Now they want us to simplify. Okay, it's the other way around. This is addition. Now we're going to do becomes multiplication. So this is going to be log base 3 9 times 1. Right? So this is going to be log base 3 of 9 equal to x, right? 3 to the x power, becomes the exponent, equal to 9. So we could write this with the same base. I'm sorry, to the second power. So x is equal to 2. Log base 3 of 9 plus log base 3 of 1 is equal to 2. We did 25. Let's do 24. They want us to evaluate using the property. Again, 8 to the x power is equal to 512. 8 to the third power is equal to 512. So x is equal to 3. So then log base 8 of 512 is equal to 3. This is the answer. Now, they only want us to convert to the exponential form. Okay. So we're going to do base 3 to the negative 5 is equal to 1 over 243. They only want us to convert to the exponential form. That's it. Okay. So 11. I'm looking for 10. Right here. Let's do 20. It says find the value of x. So we're going to go to the exponential form, which is what, x to the second power equals to 529. To exponential form. Now we're going to apply the what? The square root property. That would be x is equal to plus and minus the square root of 529. And the square root of 529 is 23. And don't forget that we're only going to be using x equal to 23. Don't forget, not the negative. Then 18, they only want us to solve this. Okay. 6 will be to the second power, right? Will be 36. So x minus 1 is equal to 2. If I add 1, x is equal to 3. They just wanted me to solve it for x. And we just did it. 16. Again, we need to find out if they are inverses. So let's take exactly how we did it there. So it's going to be f of g of x. That means I'm taking g into f. So it's going to be 4 times 1 over 4x minus 2/3 plus 6. Okay, now let's multiply it. 1 times 1 over 4 minus 4 times 2 over 3 plus 6. So this is going to be x. This is going to be 8 over 3 plus 6. So this is going to be x. When we add these two fractions, 10 over 3. So right there, we know they're not inverses. So it's going to be either the A or this one. And if we do the other one, which is g of f, meaning we take f and replace it right here. So that's going to be 1 over 4 times 4x plus 6. So we get x, we got 6 over 4 minus 2/3. That's going to be equal to x plus 5 over 6. So the answer is going to be that they are not both true. Okay? They're not inverses because g of s, g of x, and f of x are not both true. Okay? And we're almost done. 9, 10. I think it's this one, right? Okay, hold on. 16. Yeah, here's 14. It says find the inverse of the function. Okay. So we interchange the x and the y. We just did that. Now they want us to find the domain. So what would be the domain? Domain would be 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are the x values. And the y values are 2, 4, 6, and 8. This is y. Okay? That's 14, and let's do 12. We need to find out if they are, if it's a graph. It says determine if the graph is a graph of a function. And if it's a function, is it a one-to-one? So just by looking at it, let's see if it's a function. No, it's not a function. Right away, it touches two places. So we're gonna write down not a function. Why? Because it fails the vertical line test. And if it's not a function, it cannot be a one-to-one. There's no way it's going to be a one-to-one. Okay? That's 12. Let's do 10. 10 says use the set of order pairs to determine it's a one-to-one. Okay, so from 6, there is a 6, there is a 13, 0, -8, -26, and a 7. So far it's a function. Now, is it a one-to-one? -7, -25, -13, -9, -25 again. Repeats again. So it's a function, but it's not a one-to-one. Okay? Don't forget that. It's a function, but not a one-to-one. Okay? And the next one is 8. This one says find the axis of symmetry and vertex for the parabola. Okay? So the first thing that we're going to do here, we're going to factor out the -4. So it's going to be y equals to -4 x squared plus divided, it's like you remember this is 4 times 1, 4 times 10. So this is going to be 10x minus 6/4. And what we just did here was we factor out the -4. Okay? Now the next step is we need to isolate the variables. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this. Let me rewrite this. X squared plus 10x. This is half is 3. Yeah, let's put it like that. Let's simplify it. So we're going to isolate the variables. We're adding 3 halves on both sides. So this is going to be x squared plus 10x equals to 3/2. Now we're going to complete the square right there. Don't forget that I need this the way I do it here. I need to see the work that you guys do, doing exactly what I'm doing right now. So we're going to complete the square. This is going to be half of b, 10 divided by 2, that's 5 squared plus 25. So we are adding 25 here. So what we have here is I'm going to complete the square, and it's going to be x plus 5 squared. 3 halves plus 25. When you guys do that in the calculator, you get, let me double check that. 3 halves plus 25. 53 over 2. So now I'm going to subtract this because I need to bring it back to here. So I'm going to subtract it on both sides. And this is going to be y is equal to negative 4 x plus 5 squared minus 53 over 2. Remember, where I'm trying to get is to the vertex form, which is y equals to a x minus h squared plus k. That's what I'm trying to get. Now, what do? I need to distribute the 4. So it's going to be negative 4 x plus 5 squared. Negative and negative is positive. And when you multiply it times 4, I got 106. So we got the vertex form here. So the axis of symmetry, x equals to h. So x is equal to, we said the opposite, so it's going to be negative 5. Now the vertex, h comma k. So it's going to be negative 5 comma 106. Okay. 8.
Can you possibly like show a wider shot of the last one? Like, could you show a wider one so that I can see the whole thing?
If I do that, my camera will freak out. I'll upload it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Upload it into Blackboard. Okay.
Okay.
6, 5, and 4. So we are going back to, this one is completing the square. Yeah, it says solve by completing the square. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do here is isolate the variables. So I'm going to be adding 7 on both sides. So this is going to be y squared minus 6y. 48 plus 7 is 55. Now I'm going to complete the square. So it's going to be half of b, negative 6 divided by 2. That will be negative 3 squared That's plus 9 and plus 9. Now I'm going to complete the square. It's going to be y minus 3 squared. 55 plus 9 is 64. And I need to solve, right? So I'm going to apply the square root property. So this is going to be equal to 64 square root is 8. So I'm going to be adding 3 on both sides. So y is going to be equal to 3 plus a minus 8. So we're going to have two answers. One is going to be 3 plus 8 and 3 minus 8. So it's 11 and minus 5. Okay. That's it. Complete the square. That's what they want us to do here. 4 is using the quadratic formula. So first I'm going to distribute. So that's going to be 2x squared plus 6x minus 7, right? Equal to 0. A is 2, B is 6, and C is negative 7. So x is equal to negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay. This is 36. 56 divided by 4. So x is equal to negative 6 square root of 92 divided by 4. So the square root of 92, we could have a square root of 4 times 23 divided by 4. So this is going to be negative 6 plus or minus 2 square root of 23 divided by 4. Right? So this is going to be 2 times 3 and 2 times 1. So I could factor out the 2 and to cancel it with the 2. You can go with the 4. So let me do it. So this is going to be 2 negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 23 divided by 2 times 2. So this makes us a 1. And we're going to have two answers. Negative 3 plus the square root of 23 divided by 2. And negative 3 minus the square root of 23 divided by 2. This is just applying the square root property. Don't forget, I need to see all of this in your hand, scratch work or handwritten work, okay? And we're going, oh, it's the last one. And we need to use the square root property to solve the quadratic equation. What I can do here is multiply by 2 to get rid of this fraction. Let me multiply by 2. So when I do that, so this is going to be 2 times negative 7x squared minus 2 times 14 and 2 times 0, which is, so right here there's a 1, right? So we have negative 7x squared minus 28 equal to 0. So what do? We isolate the variable. So we're going to be adding 28 on both sides. So it's going to be negative 7x squared equals to 28. Right? So we get x squared. 28 divided by 7 is negative 4. Right here, what do? I apply the square root property. So it's going to be plus and minus, because it's a negative and it's a square root, so this is going to be times negative 1. Square root of negative 1, this is I. What's the square root of 4? Is 2. So again, I'm going to have two answers. X equals to 2i and x equals to negative 2i. And we just finished the review.